So a couple of weeks ago I turned 20 for the first time in my life, and that's when I had the idea of making this video. This is not a typical video that I do make, but I think it can be pretty entertaining and potentially valuable. But I'm definitely not going to claim that I know everything and that I'm like a really intelligent person. If anything, I'm the opposite. I just want to share my journey and hopefully provide some value and give you a broader sense of perspective, because I think we all need that in life. So without further ado, here are my 5 biggest life lessons at 20 years old. Lesson number 1, everything is contextual. So I was at a point where I didn't post a lot of content on social media at all, and since I'm trying to become a content creator, that's obviously not good because that's the opposite of what I want to do. And the reason why I stopped posting was basically that I got too afraid of people judging me, because I didn't want the things that I said to be taken out of context. So what I did was just to stop to post as frequently, and also censor what I say to make it less dramatic and to not trigger people, because I didn't want it to be taken out of context. But what I failed to realize was that literally everything you say and everything you will do in life, that can be taken out of context. Let me give an example. In this age of social media, absolutely everything can and will be taken out of context, and that is because people either want to win an argument or they want to be right, because it's going to boost their ego. They're going to think of themselves as the superior person because they are right and the other person is wrong. And the absolutely crazy thing about this is that people, they often agree on the main point, but it's just the way that they frame it, and because of their ego, they're not willing to look at things from a broader perspective, and they're not willing to admit when they're wrong. So they're not willing to actually see things from the other person's perspective, and as I said, admit when they're wrong. So I just feel like you really have to just speak your opinion in the world, which is something I've been really bad at, because again, I didn't want things to be taken out of context. So I think that it was probably about like a year ago that I posted a post on Instagram talking about people, they have to be responsible for their life and their choices and how they choose to deal with them, instead of having a victim mentality. And obviously I think that most of you can agree with that as well. It's important to take control of your life instead of reacting to everything and blaming other people. And someone in the comment section, he wrote something along the lines of, okay, so rape victims aren't victims, it's their fault. And that's like, obviously I didn't agree with that. He just took it out of context so that he can be the better man, so that he thought of himself as the winner of the argument, or that he was in the right. And like, of course, I'm not gonna say here and say that I never put things out of context, because I'm a human, I'm not a robot, I have a brain, I'm not a machine. So obviously I do act based on my limiting perspective from time to time. And I also do sometimes want to be right, but it's just that when I'm more aware of it, like I am now, that means that it's going to happen less, and I can actually try to look for the truth in something, for example an argument, instead of just trying to be right for the sake of being right, which is what most people do. Lesson 2, you have everything you need. So I feel like we often look for an answer to a question that we deep down inside actually know, but we're just kind of like procrastinating looking for the question because we want the answer to be more easier or better than what it actually is. So we keep looking for it, especially on YouTube with all of these clickbait titles. Let me use a pretty cliche example. Let's say you're browsing on YouTube for how to become happy. Like, you can do that for hours on end, because there's literally an infinite amount of YouTube videos out there. You can watch YouTube videos till you're dead, and you're still going to have plenty more YouTube videos you could watch. So it's very easy to just procrastinate by tricking yourself to think that you're actually in the pursuit of finding the truth when you deep down inside know it. This can also be applied to things like gratitude. I feel like a lot of the reasons why we aren't happy with our life is because instead of being content with what we have and being appreciative and grateful for that, we instead look into the future and think, okay, I'm going to be happy once I reach that certain thing. But it's, in reality, we have literally everything you need. Especially if you're watching this video, you probably have enough food to live, and that's pretty much all you need. A house over your head and some food and some genuine connections in your life. I feel like that's literally everything you need to be happy. I don't need a gym. I don't need this camera. I don't need my channel. But I do like it though. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we just have to be better, or at least me, to be better at actually just knowing that, okay, getting better at this or achieving this, yeah, it's going to be good, but you have everything you need. Like, I've literally spent hundreds of hours looking online on the internet, on other places, to just look for answers that I know, like how to make good YouTube videos, how to be happy, and other very general questions. But in reality, we do know them deep inside if we just take a moment to think and just find a computer or a pen or paper and write it down. We're going to realize that we do know the answer, but it's just not the answer we're looking for. We're looking for something easier, and that often doesn't exist. So instead of just looking and procrastinating in reality, we should rather just come to acceptance of that we have everything we need. Lesson 3, responsibility for everything. So when I was pretty young, I felt like I had a very strong victim mentality. And again, I'm not gonna lie, I probably have it to a small amount this day as well. I catch myself sometimes blaming other people, blaming circumstances, which either I shouldn't be blaming because I can't change it, or I can change it, but I just blame it on something else. And that is obviously not good, as you probably know, because if you don't think you are responsible for something, then you're not going to try to change it. Because if you're saying, okay, someone else is responsible for this situation, then it's not up to me to change it because it's not my fault. But that's where you're wrong. Like, you might not be directly in fault of everything in your life, but you are responsible to everything that happens to you. Either if it's something good or bad, or if someone else did it, or if you did it, you are responsible to make that change. And if you think that other people are responsible for you, then you're probably never going to make that change, because you're not looking to change. You're looking for people or things to change around you, which is definitely not like the right mindset to have for growth and for just becoming better at anything. And once you just realize that you are responsible for your life and everything around it, then you can change it. And let's say if there's even a situation where you can't change anything, then you still are responsible for your thoughts, your emotions, how you're going to react to that situation. And obviously, it's not just easy to say, okay, react like this, react like that, but it can get better over time as long as you practice it. So remember that you have the responsibility for everything in your life. Lesson 4, the journey is all there is. So I've had many goals throughout my life, and I'm sure you've had that as well. And before I attempted to reach those goals, then I always thought, okay, I'm going to be content when I reach it, or I'm going to be happy once I reach it. And yeah, I'm going to be satisfied and not really want more. But like, the thing is that once you reach a goal, you're going to set new goals. That is how our brain psychologically works. You're not going to be satisfied that easily. And this ties so well into the biggest misconception of getting rich and making money. I feel like I do think that a lot of people, they are chasing to get a lot of money, and I know people that have said this to me in real life as well, like they work a shitty job or a job that they don't like at least, and they say that, yeah, I'm only doing it to get rich so that I can be happy. And it's like, no, you got it all wrong. Like, when you're going to be happy is in the journey itself. You're going to be happy once you're seeing gradual progress towards something that you're working towards, something that's bigger than yourself, something that is going to help other people, something you can look back at with pride because you started from the bottom and now you're here. I'm sorry, I just had to say that quote, it just fits so well. I'm not gonna say that hitting big goals that you've set for yourself isn't going to make you happy. It is. You're going to be so fucking happy that day. But you know what? Most days in your life is not the days when you hit one of your main goals in life. Those are like the 0.0009% of the times. Don't you actually want to be happy for the majority of your life instead of only that small increment? I do. So that is why I feel like we have to learn to enjoy the process instead of thinking that, okay, once I reach this, I'm going to be successful and happy. No, you might think that now, but once you reach it, you're going to set new goals. and continue the process. So realize that the journey is all there ever is. Final lesson, and lesson number 5. Suffering is inevitable and even necessary. So I definitely do believe in positivity, and I feel like you have to look at things with the right mindset in life. You know, the glass half full, half empty mentality. But I do believe there is such a thing as toxic positivity, where a lot of people make you believe that you need to feel happy all the time, you need to be positive at all the time. But no, if your goal was to feel happy all the time in life, I can tell you would be a drug addict who was obese as shit, because the things that make you happy are often associated with things that give you an instant dopamine hit and instant gratification, such as eating junk food, taking drugs. Not saying that everyone enjoys it, I don't. But I'm just using it as an example, okay? But my point is that we have to accept in life that we're not going to be happy all the time. There is a lot of things that are going to happen in your life which is going to suck. You're going to die, if you didn't know. A lot of loved ones are going to die in your life as well. Obviously, that's like the worst example possible, but I'm just stating my point, which is that suffering will inevitably happen in your life, and it's all good because that is very natural. Everyone is going to feel some sort of suffering and have some times when they're down and stuff. So we have to stop like chasing happiness as the main thing to chase in life, and instead chase being responsible for stuff and chasing things that provide your life with meaning, because it's actually in the things that we find meaningful in our life that is what is going to be worth suffering for. So like, whatever you do in life, you're going to suffer no matter what, but at least you can like choose what you're going to suffer about. Do you want this job or that job? Guess what? They're probably both going to have a lot of struggles with them, but it's all about weighing the pros and cons. Someone that I definitely do admire in some aspects is Jordan B. Peterson. I recently got his book, but yeah, he talks a lot about that life is suffering, and it's in the suffering you're going to find your meaning. Also, a great book about that is A Man's Search of Meaning. It's about a Auschwitz survivor and basically how he managed to live through all of the horrible circumstances that he was dealt with, and that is through meaning. And that's why my personal opinion is that you shouldn't chase happiness in your life because you're going to be a fat drug addict, but you should chase things that give you a meaning, because that's what is going to make you bear that suffering. And something that I do genuinely want to know is what you think of my top 5 biggest life lessons. So yeah, let me know in the comment section if you agree, if you disagree, or even if you want to share some of your life lessons as well, because I am genuinely interested to hear your opinion on what I said and your life lessons. Let me know. That is pretty much the video. Like the video if you liked the video, but if you didn't like it, dislike it, and tell me in the comment section below what I can do to improve. My name has been Magnus Bulkan. Subscribe for more. Peace.